Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. I had another great grocery week and I wanted to share because I was $44 under budget. I wanted to share the 3 things that I did to stay under budget. One's a new thing that I just added that I feel like is going to really help me. So let me get started and tell you about it. Last week, I only spent $66 on groceries. I went to 2 stores. Aldi spent $40, Kroger spent $26. So I spent a total of $66. Budget is $110 for the week, and I was under budget the week before. And a few of these tips you may have heard elsewhere, but one of them I don't feel you've heard, and I feel like it's going to change me a lot, and I'm going to get into explaining why. First one, I know you've, I'm sure, heard other places, but I have to tell you, I'm guilty many times of overbuying on produce. I'm not eating as much fruit as I used to. And what would happen is I would buy a whole bag of mandarin oranges. You know, I'd buy a bunch of avocados or a whole big bag of apples. And we wouldn't get to eating all of it. And sometimes we would end up having to throw it away. Not the apples, but I did have to throw away 2 avocados and a few mandarin oranges. And I don't like to do that. So now I'm buying very little produce. A lot of it's frozen, so I know it's not going to go bad. For example, we have some frozen avocado in the freezer. And I bought just 3 single apples and 3 oranges. And that was it. That way, I make sure I'm using what I have and it won't go bad. And buying those single items and buying a lot less produce is really saving me money. That's number 1. Number 2, and this sounds really odd, and I've never heard this tip, but it actually helps me, and I'm going to explain why. You guys understand that when you write out a grocery list, you write down the things that you're needing, maybe running low on or something somebody wants in the home, correct? But guess what? What I did is I created a section on my page, on my notebook, and I keep this in a notebook, about what I don't need to buy. And it's not very big, it's just a little section. That sounds kind of counterproductive, but let me explain this. Many times I'll buy things out of habit because I know it's something that we're going to always eat. For example, or drink, almond milk, cereal, granola bars. And I'm not buying as much of all of that stuff anyway, but these are just a few examples. Nuts. What I'll do is I'll write down on there, don't need to buy hummus, almond milk, nuts, any of that. That way I'm not just buying something out of habit because I'm used to buying it. So it helps so I don't have an overpile that end up getting expired, or somebody in the family's not tired of it. For example, maybe a family member really likes this particular granola bar, so I just out of habit keep buying it every week. And then all of a sudden I notice they're really not eating that granola bar anymore. Well, I'm not eating them, so you end up just having a bunch of stuff in your cupboard that people aren't eating. So I'm paying attention to what not to buy, and that really saves me on my grocery bill. And actually, I thought about doing a series of what I didn't buy at the grocery store. Instead of showing you guys, hey, what I did buy, what didn't I buy? Because you can really save money that way. It's a little different than what maybe most folks do, but it sure saved me from buying things that I already have at home and that I don't want to expire by having too much of. The other thing I'm doing, which is number 3, and this one might sound odd, but many times when you see meal plans on YouTube, you see some type of protein and maybe a vegetable and some type of starch. So you might see a piece of chicken, maybe a side of broccoli, and a side of rice. That might be a typical meal, and they might have some Jell-O or fruit salad on the side. Well, we don't have to have all those things, and we have an overabundance right now of crackers and hummus. We have an overabundance of different types of cheese. So what I've been doing is instead of using all those side dishes, we're having a little less protein, a little less starchy, and then we're using things like this as a side dish, a cheese stick, crackers and hummus. This way I'm using everything I have in the house rather than eating large portions of these other items. So our food's actually stretching further because I'm making use of all these other things that are not typically seen as a side dish. Well, I'm using them as a side dish. These are the three ways that I'm saving money, and I'm really excited about it because I'm really hoping I can build a good stash of cash so we can have that as an extra little emergency fund if somebody needs something, or I can go ahead and either invest that or put it in savings. Let me know how you're saving money on groceries. If I continue like this, I'm going to just give you little updates and little tips and tricks that I'm learning along the way. I always love to hear from you. I appreciate your time and I love you very much. This is Money Mom signing off. Bye-bye.